Culture Club is brought to you by Tropical Ice.
Awaken in me, O ancestor, and imbue upon me your strength. Come alive in my blood and my bones, that your skill and knowledge may sail through Lagos and Ghani again. O ancestor who looked upon the stars and saw a map. O ancestor who looked upon the sea and saw a road. Awaken in me, awaken in me, awaken in me. Hafides and buenas, my name is Andrew Roberto. I'm from Saipan. I reside in Coblerville, and I'm also a sailor with 500 sails, but outside of that, I'm a published author and a stage playwright. It was a piece that sort of came to me right before I went on a circumnavigation sail with 500 Sails, the sailing organization. And then after I returned, I was really inspired by what happened when we were out there sailing. A little bit about myself. I've had a lifelong dream to be out in the water. When I was small, when I was about 6 years old, this historian was doing some outreach at my school, and he came and he told us all about the ancestors, all about the ancient Chamorros, and he showed us this wonderful oil painting with laddie stones, loose song, adzes, really cool stuff. But what changed my life in that outreach was, in that oil painting was a depiction of the ancient Chamorro Sackman. And the historian said that our boats were fast. And that really caught my ear, because at 6 years old, that's all I wanted to be. I wanted to be fast every single day in my life. So I got confused. I said, oh, I'm Chamorro. My dad is a fisherman. My grandfather's a fisherman. Why isn't it that I have a Chamorro seafaring vessel? And then he explained, through the history of Spanish conquest, the seafaring tradition of the Marianas was diminished. And that kind of broke my heart at 6 years old. And I really thought that for the longest time I was going to have a life with no traditional seafaring. And it wasn't until I was already an adult that I was able to learn about seafaring and learn how to use the boats that you see behind me. And so earlier in this year, 500 Sails and our master navigators went around the island, and I was inspired by that. I went in there, I came out, and I wrote this piece. This is an excerpt. When we came back from that sail and I had a lot of downtime, I sat with my notebook and I wrote this actually with the intention that somebody could translate it, and then it could be said as a chant. That part, awaken in me, that would be almost like a refrain where some person who was leading the chant says one part of the poem, and then the response could be awaken in me. That's longer. It's still a piece that I'm continually working on. As you know, I don't even have a title for it. But this was a piece that was like, is almost like a place, it comes from a place of almost just pure inspiration, and now the next half of this is to take that and refine it, because I don't believe that it's as good as I can make it. As a writer, your job is to create your work, and then you go back and refine every single time. It doesn't matter if you're writing poetry, which I'm not the greatest at writing poetry. I actually am more comfortable writing short fiction. I'm more comfortable writing theater. But once in a while, man, I'll give it a shot. I'll give some poetry a shot. But even so, authors need to constantly be in the process of writing and rewriting. So this piece is not done. It's going to go through further iterations. But that's just where it is at the very minute. There's a voice in me. There's sort of always been a voice in me that wants to come out, like even going back to when I was small. Once again, I've always had this impulse, I guess, or this urge to speak my truth and to discover my truth. To me, and this is me connecting it to sailing, writing to me is a lot like a voyage in and of itself, because it's a voyage inwards. What is my truth? Who am I? What am I trying to say? I feel like these are made very clear when I write. There's a lot of people who feel like they don't have that voice, but I'm just skeptical about that. I really do feel like there's a lot of creative people in the Marianas who are afraid of saying what it is that they want to say and then writing it. I never knew I was a writer until I was already writing. And that's funny, you know, specifically if I want to talk about my playwriting. I didn't know I was a playwright until I already had a script down. And then I gave it over to the University of KUAM Theater, to my mentors over there, and they enjoyed it and they supported me. I think there's people who don't feel like they have support, but that's fine. If you don't have the support yet, I feel like be your own support. Take that journey within and continue to write, because there's beautiful things that can come out of the Marianas if we take these voyages in, and then if we take these voyages out on these things.
Culture Club is brought to you by Tropical Ice.